cannot believe this shit, y'all. What's up? You should go by says Kayla. I just want to kind of get over. I'm over here getting over, like trying to merge into a lane and shit. Okay. I should not be doing this while I'm driving on the freeway, so somebody should take away my phone. But I just want to kind of go over Doordash. Kind of some things that kind of really piss me the fuck off as a dasher. I just want to let this be known that I do this as a little side hustle, just like if I want to like make some extra money on my spare time. And it is good if you are a college student, you need a little bit of extra dough in your pocket, or you know, whatever, you're staying at home and you just need extra money, or just some shit, you know, just like a little cha-ching. I don't recommend it for full time. I mean, I know people that have done it full time, but you know, it just cuts into your gas. It cuts into a lot of your time. I mean, you can make a lot of bank within a day. I've had it one time where I at least had made breakfast or morning, day to night, at least like 180. So let me go ahead and just start this video just by saying, I ain't sponsoring shit. It's just me talking my usual shit, you know. But yeah, let me go over some things. Like, one of the things that really pissed me off as a Doordash driver is it's love and hate. And I'm not saying different things just to whatever diss on the app. I don't know, maybe it just doesn't work out for me. It works out for somebody else, you know. But I'm just talking from my personal experience. But yeah, one of the things that I really, really get peeved off about is when customers are not unavailable. I actually just try to do an order right now, and I almost waited like 20 minutes just to try to contact this lady, because I had tried to deliver to her apartment complex. And I want to make this clear: if you are a customer of Doordash, and you know, you live in an apartment complex, I just want to let it be known that if you do live in an apartment complex, then it should be, you should leave, like, there's a box. I'll put a screenshot to, you know, see what it looked like. There's a box for Doordash. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna. And all right. Just unflattering angles all over the place. Oh my god, I'm just gonna like do it like that. Okay, so this is weird. Somebody's watching me. What really irritates me as a Doordash driver is when there are customers that live in an apartment complex. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not tripping, but when you do request delivery, there are you can leave some notes, like special instructions. And I recommend, if you have like a gate code for your apartment complex, you leave the gate code, step-by-step instructions to be clear. Sometimes too, there are it's sometimes like building 14, 15, and then they'll have little numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I'll have the same numbers on building like 15, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and shit. It's just, sometimes it's really complicated, and it like sometimes like it's the layout too. Sometimes of the apartment, it gets a little bit too complicated. Like sometimes I've had it where my GPS was routing me to like a garage, but it was really in like a courtyard within, like, I had to go all the way around and all that. shit. But yeah, that's one thing that pisses me off, is unclear directions from apartment complexes. Like I said, I'm not dissing you people that live in apartment complexes. I live in apartment complexes, so I know the struggle sometimes it is. You know, you want to have that DoorDash because it is easier at your convenience. Let me turn on my car. It's easier at your convenience not to go out of your way to, you know, just go out and get food because it's supposed to be convenient. Another thing that irritates me about being a DoorDash driver, whatever, second thing, I feel like it just depends on your area. Me personally, I DoorDash in California, different places in the Bay Area. My main place that I do deliver: Dublin, Pleasanton, Livermore, Danville, Blackhawk, Alamo, sometimes Tracy, Manteca, Stockton, all that. I've done it where in the Bay Area, like Fremont, Sunnyvale, San Jose, but most importantly where I am right now, you know, sometimes it speaks for itself. I had issues where sometimes, you know, there's peak pay. And, you know, everybody, if you're a Dasher, you know peak pay is the shit. It really is the shit because it helps out a lot. Sometimes you could be having like a $9 order and then peak pay could be +4. So like a $9 +4 would be 13. And that's not including the added gratuity that DoorDash adds, as well as the customer's tip if they do tip. We'll get into that. But yeah, that's some shit that really like kind of gets to me sometimes, because you know, like the best times to DoorDash is like for peak pay and for good pay. Actually, it's during the rush hours, you know, 10 to 1 for your lunch needs and semi-breakfast needs, and then the dinner hours are 5 to 9. Sometimes it could be really booming during the weekend, and you know, they're really booming, and it could be, you know, like, oh, it's very busy until like 12 or something. I feel like personally it's love and hate. Like I said, this whole video, it's just talking my opinions. I'm not speaking for everybody. Maybe people have had their different shares and differences. Leave a comment below, so you know, discuss if you are a Dasher or if you're interested as a Dasher, you know, like your concerns and stuff, and like your kind of feedback. But that's one of the things that really kind of gets to me sometimes, because sometimes it'll be rush hour or even like peak pay to $1 pay, whatever, but they'll give like such minimal orders. Like the minimal is $6 of an order, and then they have it sometimes where it's like up to like $14 like an order. It just depends too on the mileage. But one of the things that really irritates me is the minimum, like the minimum orders, like what, like for example $6 going to, like, I don't know, like from Pizza Hut to all the way to another like part of town, but it doesn't compensate for the gas that you drive. And I'll be getting further into explanation. And what I mean by that is sometimes, you know, you're driving on the road a lot. It's nonstop too, so, and it takes, you know, a toll on your car. Me personally, I drive a 2012 Chevy Cruze LT. I mean, I'm good on gas, but it's just sometimes it really does get to me that sometimes, like when I do these orders, because I'm money hungry, I'm like, man, fuck it, I'm on it, you know, let's go, let's get it. And you know, sometimes I'll have it where I drive like, what do you call it, 9 miles for like what, like a $7 order, and let alone sometimes you, like, referring back to the first like thing that I hate, you can't like reach them, or it's just like further distance, you gotta end up going on the freeway and all that stuff. It's just like really a hot mess. What do you call it? I'm having like a total brain fart right now, and I have like no water. Oh my god, I'm like tripping. I'm running my mouth dry. So anyways, that's the second thing I dislike. Third thing that I do dislike, for DoorDash support. And if DoorDash support is hearing me out there, this is my feedback to you guys personally, from my perspective, yada yada yada. Let me get into that. Third thing that I really do dislike about, you know, being a dasher, sometimes I have issues. Sometimes because we are self, you know, employed independent contractors, whatever. We don't get paid. Everything we have, it's ours. No taxes are being held or whatever. I don't know if that applies just to me, or this is just like within like the whole, you know, shabam, the whole company itself. But man, I'm having like 10,000 brain farts right now. I just feel personally, I've had experiences where I have issues, and you know, like I get different people and stuff. Sometimes you have the option of calling them or like chatting on like live with the agent, whatever. I've had it where sometimes DoorDash support is not helpful. Sometimes they can be coming off as really I wouldn't say crabby. I would say they're more so like they can't. Sometimes I'll have it where we're running back in circles trying to figure out something, and they don't get my problem that I try to explain. They think it's a whole different other situation, and then they'll try to like say, okay, you know what, I'm gonna give you a primary example. I'm over here talking like crazy and shit in my car. I don't give a fuck. Anyways, so for example, let's say that I'm gonna just tell you what I experienced last night. Let me get into that. I had a problem, and this will happen sometimes. This is another thing that I hate. Fourth, whatever, or third, it could be added, vice versa. I had a order for The Habit. By the way, bomb as fuck food. The Habit, and it was an $8 order for 3.9 miles. I'm on that. I'm in there like swimwear. I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna do it right now, you know, of course, yeah. And it wasn't no peak pay or whatever, it was just that. And I get the food, I receive the food, but yet I get a text, and there's an option for the customers out there. You're able to call or text your delivery driver, you know, that's clutch. Just thinking about this situation made me kind of like upset. The customer was like, oh, hey, I'm sorry, I put the wrong address. You know, this is my new address. Okay, you know what, shit happens, you know, shit happens like that. But it was not the 3.9 miles that I was hoping for. It was about 15.8 miles, couple cities away. I mean, I guess you could say it's in like a radius, but it was just really far. And I felt like with my time and my gas being put into that, and the wear and tear on my car too, like, it's just, I was like, okay, what the fuck? Like, hell no, I'm not driving there. I could just return this order back to the restaurant and stuff. And I contacted DoorDash support, and they were like, oh, oh, hey, hello. I think I was talking to a guy or whatever online, but he was just saying or whatever, like I told him about the situation. I was like, yeah, like the customer texted me about going all the way over here and all that stuff, and he was just sitting there like, oh, it's, you know, not within our reach, it's out of our hands, but what you can do is just go ahead and deliver the order to the place that it says on there. Like, what? Like, first of all, I mean, yeah, deliver it to the location, whatever, on the GPS of the wrong address, but what if, like, people weren't there? I mean, I delivered it regardless, and I had that too, where I was like, okay, whatever, you know, I'm gonna do this, but they didn't answer. It was a house and there was like nobody home, and I was sitting there and I was just like, what the fuck? And I contacted DoorDash again, and you know, I was like, you know what, I'm within the reach of the restaurant, I can go ahead and just, you know, like return it, there's no problem, whatever. And whatever, if that sounds unsanitary, like, I mean, you know, there's nobody home, and they're like, oh, just whatever, just leave it. And I'm like, oh my god, poor food. Like, the restaurant could have just like used this towards another order. I mean, I don't know if that's possible. I mean, I worked in food industry, but I mean, that sounds really unsanitary, but still, like, it's the principle of like, bruh, like, sometimes I have the option where you keep the food, and I totally understand. I totally understand that, you know, we can't keep the food, and like, you know, shit happens where it's like, oh, you know, like they don't say keep the food. They're just discreetly, you know, say, oh, this is that. But yeah, it's just like a whole thing where, damn, I wasted my gas to go here. I mean, not a little bit of gas, but to wait outside and then to put the food in the cold, squirrels and shit, you know, like, would have got there. And me personally, if it was accidentally getting sent to my location, personally, I would like to be known, not to just come home if I'm not home, to like some cold ass food on my, you know, on my doorstep. That's just a personal opinion. That was like 3, 4, I don't know. What else? 5. I'm just gonna count that as 4, whatever, but 5, we're on to 5. One thing I really do have a problem with Doordash is the app itself. Right now, I wouldn't say the app itself, I would say what is currently going on. So there is an email, and I will go ahead and put a screenshot right here, explaining that DoorDash, you know, it's a good thing, you know, it's flexible, you could do whatever the fuck you want, but now they have it where you could only dash within the rush hours. Before, there was a button where you just click the dash now, and you just click and, you know, check your list, whatever, you got your charge phone, you got enough gas, you got your company card and stuff, you're ready to go, your hot bags, all that stuff, all that good stuff. But now they're not giving that option. They're trying to make it where it's a set schedule, and they're trying to convert self-independent contractors to employees. I see. And I used to make I still do make decent money, but I used to make, like, at least, like I said, I used to Doordashing for a whole day, like, whenever I want. And like, I could, like, when it's a dash now, you could do it whenever you want. Like, back then, like, you could do whatever you want, and you could, like, stop the dash whenever you want to, like, to go, you know, use the restroom, eat, you know, go home, take a nap or whatever, and come back and all that stuff. Now it's just like, it's not a thing. Now it's like where it's hard to explain, but there's a map that, like, within your area red means busy and like you can dash, but if it turns like a cloudy gray, that means like it's too many dashers on the road or too packed or whatever. And now it's just within a time frame, which kind of is upsetting, because I used to at least make around like I said, I made like a 180 one day, but the most you can make is like, you know, like at least like it just depends, but I say ballpark range of 120. And it's good money. Like if you do it too, like I've done it full time too. I've done it, I really have. Now you do not have the option to do that, and it's really upsetting, because I feel like as a dasher within these apps, you're working for apps and stuff, kind of like Postmates, Uber Eats and stuff. It is your own schedule. It is whenever you feel like it and stuff, and I feel like that just is really irritating to me personally, because now, like, instead of making like $100 and shit a day daily, I'm making like at least like whatever, like 60 or something. And sometimes it's just like another problem, 6, kind of like relevant to that. Sometimes the app has some glitches, and sometimes there's days where I'm ready to go, but sometimes I cannot dash. Sometimes it'll be like looking for orders, but I will never get an order, or it'll kick me off the app it'll say looking for orders and all that stuff. I've been waiting there for a cool minute, and it'll just be like, oh, you had your dash paused that long, because you can pause your dash to like do whatever, kind of like your 30-minute. Me personally, I don't do that. I mean, I didn't do that before. Sometimes, well, now it's a little bit more clutch. I didn't do that before because, you know, you could stop your dash and whatever, continue. But now, like, they're having it where it's like that. And real about that. And, you know, I feel like this is number 7 that I really kind of is sad. I feel like Doordash makes a shitload of profit, because it is you know, one of the first apps, the food delivery apps, that has been available from like modern day technology to like now, which, you know what I mean, shit's progressed. And I remember back in the days, I was like, oh, you know, it'd be dope if I could just get anything fucking delivered, and boom, what do you know now? I feel like for what I get paid, sometimes I'll feel underpaid. I'm not gonna front. Sometimes I have the bad days where it's like I feel like I've done a lot of orders, a lot of deliveries, you know, but there's like the gratuity shit, but like customers don't tip. Sometimes it's just a real big of a hassle. And damn, I just farted. Okay, TMI. I hope you guys didn't hear that. If you guys heard that, farted, I'm gonna fucking cut that, because that's disrespectful. Shut the fuck up. But yeah, I just feel like sometimes, you know, you could actually look how much your order is, the ones that you're doing for DoorDash, and sometimes it could be like a $100 order, $200 order, and like you're delivering for like a good while of a rate, like more than a 5-mile radius, and it could be less than $10, and it's sometimes like, it's like, what the fuck, you know? Like, it's very irritating sometimes, you know. Like sometimes I've had it where like and sometimes it's with peak pay too. Like, I'm not just saying without peak pay. Sometimes like it'll have $2 peak pay, and like it won't make a difference to sometimes regular days of pay. If you're a Dasher, OG Dasher, you would know what I'm talking about. What I hate, another thing that I hate, 8th. We on the 8th thing. Merchants, where you get your food at. I cannot stand, I'm sorry, but I fucking hate Chipotle. Every goddamn order at Chipotle. Every goddamn order at motherfucking Chipotle. You wanna know why? You wanna know why? Okay, let me tell you ass why. Because sometimes you have no control of waiting for the food, because that is what you're delivering to. But bitch, let me tell you. Oh my god, sometimes it's just like I am waiting there damn near over an hour for like 2 fucking items. And you know, me personally, if I'm waiting for hella long, I will be like, yo, like what's going on? Like, I will check. I'll after like about 10 minutes like of waiting sometimes, you know, and I get it, sometimes it is very, very busy, but sometimes I will see where there are other dashers getting helped that came after me that get their shit, and I'm like, fuck you, bitch. Like, straight the fuck up, just like that. Fuck you, bitch. Like, oh my god, fuck you, bitch. Like, straight like that. It's just sometimes really irritating because like it's running on my time, and I give myself like with orders like to make like the quota of money to make like, you know, a good amount an hour. I try to make deliveries at least 30 minutes or less, personally. I know sometimes it's just not a thing if you're doing long distance deliveries sometimes, and you sometimes have to wait to, you know, get to the people and shit. And sometimes there's the instructions where it's just like, oh, call me when, you know, you're here, and then they take a while too. It's just, you know, this app, you're running on my fucking time, my time, my money. It's very pricey. So that's just one of the many things. 8 let's see. Oh yeah, you know what I hate? This is another thing. 9th, we're on the 9th thing. I hate when sometimes I'm declining orders. Oops, something just pulled up. I hate when sometimes I'm declining orders. Sometimes I decline them personally because like I've had trouble with delivering from like places that with orders that, you know, you give out alcohol, because if you're 21 and older, you do qualify for like delivering to like places like Bevmo, Total Wine, Spirits, Beer, and Draft, and all that shit. And, you know, sometimes just for personal reasons, I gotta take a piss, I gotta eat, I gotta go take a shit, you know, like all this shit. Ugh, boo bitch, what the fuck you looking at? Never seen a bitch fucking talking on the camera. Anyways, it's just real irritating, like, on some real shit. It gets to a point sometimes where it's just like, you know, you could get kicked off the app for like declining too many times. I'm like, what the fuck, bitch? Like, I'm not playing with you today. Like, why? And like I said, referring back to that one number, I forgot which one, the one I was talking about, where like Doordash is like acting on some brand new shit, and you can't even dash whenever you want. It'll kick you off the dash, and you can't even dash no more. Sometimes I have that, like, you know what I mean? It's just for personal reasons, and like I get it, there's policies, but that just is really irritating, because it's like sometimes you gotta wait until the next time slot is available, or when it turns the map turns red again and shit. And yeah, anything else that is displeasing to me? I think that's just about it. You know, I don't mean to sound like a negative Nancy or a bitch and all that stuff, but man, all this bitching, to be honest, got me real tired. Just because I just ended my dash, and I'm just like, ooh, just sad. Yeah, all right, YouTube. You know, give me some feedback. Let me know what you think about the shit I was talking with all the 9 things. Yeah, let me know in the comments below. Comment, like, subscribe. What are your thoughts on Doordashing? Are you a dasher? Are you thinking about Doordashing yourself? You know, shit you hate about Doordash, you know, we can like rant and talk a little shit. But yeah, go ahead and follow me on Instagram at bite-sized Kayla. It is bite-sized period Kayla. Snapchat if you like as well. I don't respond to fucking weirdos or dick pictures, so don't even fucking try because you will get blocked. Same thing about Kayla without the period for this Snapchat. And even Twitter too. I mean, I hardly go on my Twitter. I should, but yeah. Thank y'all for watching. I will see y'all the next video. Let me know what y'all think, what other videos you want me to do, and yeah, it's peace out, YouTube.